To start off, what is digital arts? Digital art is a term used to describe art that is made or presented using digital technology, similar to traditional art where we use pencils, pens, and paper, but in digital art, we use software applications and graphic tablets. Digital art can also be computer-generated or scanned, basically anything with a computer. It is widely used everywhere in today's era. Digital art is used in publications, media, mass advertising, and billboards. Digital art methods are utilized to create music, paintings, and other visual works of art, as well as independent movies using videos and photographs produced digitally by artists. Sketching. A sketch is a quick, freehand drawing that is not often meant to be a finished piece. A sketch can be used for a variety of things, including recording what the artist observes, developing an idea for a later use, or quickly graphically illustrating an idea, concept, or principle. Line art. Line art is described as the process of producing an illustration employing fundamental strokes of different weights and angles to show form and depth. It only emphasizes lines and does not feature any shading or gradient. Coloring and shading. Coloring is the act of applying colors. It is the effect produced by applying or combining colors to an art piece. The process of adding value to a drawing is known as shading, and it is used to imply the presence of form, space, and most importantly, light. Shading can effectively create a convincing image and give a drawing the appearance of three dimensions. Shading is incredibly important when rendering a drawing that conveys volume. Color theory. It is the use of appealing color schemes in visual interfaces to engage the audience based on a set of rules and standards. Did you know the first digital art exhibition took place in 1968? In the year 1968, the Institute of Contemporary Art welcomed visitors to the cyber serendipity. Digital graphics were shown alongside drawing machines for the robot K456 by Jean Tingley and Nam June Tae. Let's talk about the basic overall process of doing digital artworks. Step 1. Gather reference image. The first step in the drawing process is to gather inspiration. Reference images are perfect for sparking ideas but also valuable resources to aid in the drawing process. You don't need to search for a specific image that matches what you want to draw. You can also try having a mannequin or a 3D model pose as a reference during the drawing process. Step 2. Create a rough sketch. Creating a rough sketch is the next part of the digital art process. The keyword here is a rough sketch, not a perfect one. Take time to scribble out your figures and get a feel for how the composition of your piece will play out. Sketching quickly and without much details will allow you to fine-tune things before you go on to create your outline. Step 3. Redefine the sketch. Once you've got your rough sketch down, it's time to redefine it. This might mean creating a sharp outline you can colorize or just cleaning up your lines a bit, so the image is clearer. These details don't have to be exact outlines. Rather, they're suggestions that you can understand the composition and perspective playing out in the piece. Did you know the earliest known form of sketch drawings dated from 30,000 to 10,000 BC? They were found on the walls of caves in France and Spain. Other examples of early drawing are the designs that were scratched, carved, or painted on the surface of primitive tools. Ancient Egyptians, beginning about 3000 BC, decorated the walls of their temples and tombs with scenes of daily life. Step 4. Create line art. When creating line art, work in a separate layer and vectorize this layer if applicable. A vector outline means you'll be able to edit it much more easily later on, such as by resizing or deleting sections. Vector outlines don't lose their quality from file to file or even when being altered. A non-vector line art requires manual drawing, literally using your own hands and the pen of the tablet with long or short strokes in order to produce the fine line work. If you create line art, take time to ensure that each line is thick enough and anchored to another line. Each section should be closed with no gaps or holes. Step 5. Coloring and shading. Along with your reference board, you should include the color palette or general mood you're going in for the piece. Start by adding color swatches next to certain elements in your reference images and compare all these colors together. If your piece doesn't match up, chances are your palette won't convey the same emotions despite how great the line art may be. Once you've defined your larger areas of color, you can begin manipulating the values of these colors to add depth and dimension. You may also want to begin adding in smaller details such as wrinkles, texture, and light. Be sure to keep light and shadow in mind as you're painting your piece. You can always go over your piece with a lighter color, but your piece will look far more realistic if you make subtle changes in the values of an area. If you're looking to make your piece appear more lifelike, adding in a secondary light source will help you just do that. Your primary light source is whatever the most direct line in casting on your subject or objects in the piece. Secondary light is typically an artificial light source of reflection of the primary light. If your piece has lamp, window, or mirror in the background, you want to account for that natural reflection of light. Step 6. Adding background. The background's relationship to artwork's main topic is its most crucial component. The background in a digital artwork is the area that depicts what is hidden by foreground objects and deep shadows in the background. The setting is established by the background, which also gives the components an atmosphere. Every detail, including a wall's projected shadow and a pattern's repetition. The effect depends on a small aspect. A background has two advantages. It is attractive and visually connects the foreground subjects to it. Step 7. Clean up. Wait! Your piece isn't finished just yet. Too many artists fall into the trap of adding color and it's done. You still need to revise your piece and add in more details. Some of these critical and often missed details include texture and organic features. If you're not sure what to add or what to remove, take a break for about a day or two, then come back to your artwork with a fresh mind. Step 8. Share your work to your fellow artists. Don't let your piece sit in silence. It deserves to be shown off to all of your followers. Wait, you don't have any followers? No worries. Creating a social media account takes time and effort. Sign up for art sharing sites and communities like DeviantArt or Funbox. If you're nervous about receiving criticism, don't be. That criticism is exceptionally helpful, and it's judging the piece, not you or your abilities as an artist. Did you know? The first digital drawing software was executed on the first Mac computers. The first Mac Paint version was introduced in the early 1980s as a program in Apple's first Macintosh. This program allowed users to draw and manipulate objects as well as product graphics that other applications could use.